1992 that actually the environmental challenges of our time were very much at the center of 1992. Now we are here in the year 2012, the environment is in a worse state globally than it was in 1992, and I think people all over the world, small countries, large countries, rich countries, poor countries, are looking to Rio in 2012 to have a better answer of how will we stop this environmental degradation and destruction. I think it is center stage, and perhaps also interesting is that we have the theme of the green economy here. You know, environment is now something that economists have to worry about, and that our so-called national planners and economic planners have to think about much more clearly. So yes, I think it is taking center stage here. Agriculture is perhaps one of our greatest challenges because food security and our ability to feed soon 9 billion people on this planet is perhaps the most challenging of all priorities, because we don't necessarily have all the answers. What we know is that the last 150 years of our agricultural model have very often not only destroyed arable soils, at a time when we need to produce more food, we are compromising many parts of the world the ability to grow food. We are drawing down the water resources. Agriculture still consumes 70% of all water resources on the planet. So I think the future of agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and the contribution of organic agriculture are absolutely central. Central to our economy, central to food security, but also central to our ability to transition to a green economy. Also, our Tunza program is another form of involving young people in the work of UNEP. For many developing countries, it is now clear that what happens on international environmental issues will in part actually enable or stop countries from developing. Climate change is just the most drastic illustration of that. Because if we don't stop the major polluters, including in the industrialized world with their historical responsibility, who is actually going to pay the price in development terms? It's developing countries. And even more so, least developed countries, poorer developing countries, smaller developing countries, because let's be honest, the bigger ones are looking after themselves quite well today. And my main concern today as UNEP is to make sure that we look after the interests of those countries who do not have a, let's say, influence that if they fail, they will affect others. They are not too big to fail, they're too small to be noticed. And that's what we in UNEP have brought to this whole green economy discussion. So in the end, you know, the world will be better off, we'll have better development, we'll have more development opportunities and options because of a United Nations Environment Program. Not alone and not singularly, but I'm convinced that we have made development more likely to happen in a better way by doing the work we do. And I think the more we get a mandate to do so in a more effective way across the world, the better development, sustainable development will succeed. Let us remember the financial crisis is not affecting the whole world. It is a particular part of the world that is particularly preoccupied at the moment, with its euro crisis, with its debt crisis. There are other parts of the world who are actually doing very well economically and are actually doing very well, thank you very much. Please don't disturb our economic success story. And I think you have to speak to different audiences, because the audience in Europe is quite rightly very preoccupied with short-term financial and economic crises. But this is also your moment to say, we already have an environmental crisis. We have seen the social crisis getting worse in terms of poverty, inequity, unemployment, and now you also have an economic crisis. This is the moment why we are here in Rio. How many more crises do you want before you start seeing that sustainable development, as we agreed in 1992, is actually a way forward?